Okay, first and foremost, you have to pardon the mess. I am aware that I have a bit of an oil leak. I just got it running again. But this is the same issue that I see others are having, so I want to try to help out in any way I can to try to figure out what's going on. The first thing you got to do is you got to pull the seat and the fuel tank off. Okay, once you get here, okay, what you're going to do, okay, and you'll notice I'm not going to disconnect my battery or anything else. You don't need to test the systems we're going to be testing. They're independent of the battery. Okay? We're going to come over here. Grab your little voltage multimeter. Turn it on to the horseshoe. Resistance. Out of limits. Quick test just to verify that it is working. Connect them together. You should get a reading next to 0 or 0. Okay, so it is working as designed. Now, key is off. That is in run. So right now, we should get no continuity when I connect in to these two wires. And you'll have to pardon the not great camera work. I'm not a professional doing this. I'm literally just trying to help people out who had this issue with their bike. I was literally riding it into work one day and it just up and died. Everything pointed to the CDI being the point of failure. Wasn't the CDI. Turns out it was the stator. So, and this is the steps I use to diagnose it. Okay? So, get this positioned where you can see it. My bike is actually still a little warm from the ride home from work. When connected into here, there should be... Oh, come on. No resistance. Give me a second. Let me get everything situated. Alright, there we go. See how it has virtually no resistance, or very little? Now watch what happens when I turn the switch to on. Why am I still getting resistance? Or no resistance? I have spark. And I should not have spark if the reading is accurate. Or is it to the ground? Alright, so apparently my bike is running. Apparently I have about 16 ohms of resistance. And I'm actually measuring off the black wire in the head. And now I just lost resistance or continuity. When I turn it off, it jumps to 0. Okay? When Everything is off. There should be no resistance between the coil and ground. It's what kills spark. Because the way coils work, and actually the way coils work, it makes sense that there would be a ground. At least a light ground, because otherwise how would you get a pulse of electricity into the primary coil to then generate the spark, which is generated in the secondary coil. Anyway, so you should have high resistance when in run, low to no resistance when off or not run on the kill switch. If that is the case, then you know that you have no issues with that switch or that switch. And the grounds for those two switches are located back here behind the headlights. Actually, you can't quite see the wiring behind that, but there you have it. So, next thing you want to check out and measure the resistance on is these two wires right here. There's two wires in there. They run down here, and you can see right there where they go into the case. Okay, those two wires should measure out at about 500 ohms of resistance. I think it is. Anyway, their connection's on the other side of the bike. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of work on this thing, and pretty much every day. Actually, this is the first night I haven't really done anything to it. Okay. And you're going to want to measure those two ports there. Again, I am not... what the hell? What the hell? I'll go ahead and do it. For lack of... shits and giggles. I'll see if I can get this damn thing to stay. There's that wire. Okay, there we go. Alright, so mine in this particular case gets a little weird to read. But that's actually 416 ohms of resistance. You can see that the K on the top. That means that each number is single, tens, hundreds. I have no idea why it does this. It's a glitch of mine. Because right there was over 1,000 ohms of resistance. Anyway, but as you can see, I have resistance and it does fall within spec. Oh, that's broken. Sorry, I was running a Rick's hot stator until it started to melt voltage regulators on a regular basis. So yeah, I'm not running the Rick's hot stator anymore until I can either one, figure out a way to make this thing more power hungry, or two, till I need it again. Alright, so if everything checks out in those two spots, then it comes down to having to be the stator. Okay? Usually it's not this connector that you're going to be looking at. It's this one right here. Okay? The other thing you could do too, to see if you actually have connection here, is figure out... God, get out. Oh, that's right. I actually have a connection like this one. What pin it is on here. And yes, this thing is a pain in the butt to get off. Okay. That's this wire right here. It's going to be this bottom pin if you have a solid connection like I do. Okay. But regardless, you want to test this black and red wire for power when you kick it over. Okay? So the easiest thing to do to save on your foot from trying to kick this thing over, pull your spark plug. So that way there's no compression when you kick it over. Okay? If you have healthy power coming from here, you have, and also the other thing you want to do too is test and see if you have power going to your coil. If you have no power going to your coil, then backtrack to this system here and verify that you have power coming to at least here. Okay? If you have power to here, but nothing to here, this is bad. Okay? Or it's weak power. More likely, this is bad. If you have low, weak power and it's barely able to light your test light, then you have an issue with your stator hiding under this cover here. Okay? And and that wire that I was asked about, it's actually this guy right here. It's this green and red wire. That wire exclusively controls your neutral light. Okay? And it runs down to a little switch behind this cover. Which, sorry, I had a long day at work. It's been a bad week, and I'm not going to pull my bike apart for everything to help you guys out. I hope this helps keep these old machines on the road. It's a great bike. It's a lot of fun to ride. Plenty of power. I know mine needs a lot of love, a lot of work. Trust me, I'm aware it needs a lot of love and a lot of work. I mean, look at that poor fender. Look at my plastics. Speedometer doesn't work. The drive failed. Frickin' rear fender's coming apart. Did a horrible job welding license plate bracket together. And these were literally held together with spoons. I'm not even joking or exaggerating. They were held on with spoons, electrical tape, and duct tape. So that's going to be your primary issues, though. Those are the main those are the only ignition system components that you really need to make these into this ignition system work. Okay, so it's either the pickup coil down here, the coil, the CDI, sorry about that, or the stator. That's all there is to it, to these bikes, to make them run. If you want to just pull the parts cannon and throw parts at it, it gets expensive quick. This is an Amazon stator. This is actually the stator that failed. It owned out the spec, but it did not work. This is the harness off the stator that is now in the bike. I combined the two to make one, and it works. Here's my Rick's hot stator. Okay. The other thing too is stock up on parts while they're running, because they're not going to be around forever. Like these coils, since I got the bike running, that one tested good. This one's brand new. It tested out fine. And I actually think I forgot to test this one. So I might, while I have my bike apart, throw it in and do a quick test on it. See if it works. And then I have known good components of all that. I have an extra I have extra valve train components because my cam's totally wiped and shot. I have a brand new coil which has not actually produced spark ever in its life. So hopefully that part's good. But I mean, and then this is all stuff for an old Suzuki 250. Again, I have all these components because they're old. They don't make parts for them anymore. So I stock up where I can. And these were, well, with the exception of this one, these were all bought because I thought it was a CDI. And I was fighting tooth and nail to get it running again. These bikes are worth saving. They take a lot of time and they take a lot of muscle and some very sore feet to kick over. But it is a lot of fun. For those of you who this video actually helps out diagnose their spark issues, post a comment down below. Let me know. Be nice to know that the video, although crude, did help. I hope my words of encouragement helped too. And yes, there's a reason why I installed a voltmeter on the bike. Since it's running the Rick's hot stator and frying the original voltage regulator, it's been destroying batteries left, right, and center. It was doing that before it broke down. But all the other original components work. The Amazon part did work for a while. It's actually got the factory OEM stator back in it, with the rewired harness. So, if you can buy Honda, buy Honda. But Honda's getting hard to find. Good luck, guys. Safe riding.